All right. It's garbage. All right, and we're back. So, my Essentia. We're back. And we are going to go over, as I said before, we're going to go over Janus. Remember that Greek god, or the Roman god, right? Either way, it's an Edomite god. It's what these Edomites used to follow, right? So without further ado, first and foremost, of course, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And yeah, man, we're back at it again. Just gonna go over some of this, some brief history, man. Some history about, you know, we're gonna go into Janus, you know, these false gods, right? And it's a, you know, pagan god, the pagan worship of Janus. January 1st, meaning New Year's Day, right? So we're just gonna go into a little bit of history, and of course, go into the precepts, right? So without further ado, let's get started. So, like I said before, we were gonna go over the story of Janus, right? Janus is basically, let's go here, Janus. So it goes into Roman mythology. So we're right now, this is a website called GreekMythology.com/myths/Romans/Janus, right? So this is the story. This is basically the story of Janus, right? So Janus was the god of beginnings and transitions in Roman mythology, and proceeded over passages, doors, gates, and endings, as well as in traditional periods such as from war to peace. So the image of Janus basically is a two-headed figure, right, of a man that basically has a front and a back. You see this in Harry Potter. That first time you see Lord Voldemort, right, with the sorcerer, right, and he takes off his turban, and behind his turban is another face, right, which basically this is what the image looks like, right? So it has a head looking forward and a head looking backward, right? So beginning and end basically is what they would call it, right? He was usually depicted as having two faces looking at opposite ways, one toward the past and the other towards the future. There was no equivalent of Janus in Greek mythology, right? So boom, right? So and it says affiliation is Roman, gender male. Other names would be Ianos or Ianas, right? Janus, right? So boom. As a god of beginnings and transitions, both in literal and abstract ways, he was also responsible for motion, changes, and time. He was present in the beginning of the world. So what they say, guarding the gates of heaven, and he. This is basically what I'm reading is it says just as Janus's role. So it says, and he also presided over the creation of religion, life, and even the gods. So they're saying that Janus is above even the higher power god. This is supposed to be the most high god. So this is the Romans' god, basically. This is what the Romans, they worship. He says he was probably considered the most important Roman god, and his name was the first to be mentioned in prayers, regardless of which god the worshippers wanted to pray to. Let's go into the Bible real quick, shall we? Let's get Deuteronomy real fast. Let's see real fast. Deuteronomy 32, verse, not 39. It says, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. There's no other power besides Abanawa Yahweh. There's no other power that's above him, nor below, there's no power that's equal to him nor above him. He is the most high God. Like when Christ said, I go to my God, right? Because Christ is not the most high God. He has a God, the God of all, which is Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? The Abanawa Yahweh Lahayanawa, right? So he is the only God, right? It says, I kill, I make alive, I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So who the hell is Janus? He ain't nobody, right? This is a false god, right? This was nothing but the Romans' way of saying, well, if you guys have a god, well, this is our god, right? And it says in one of the myths, it says Janus and Romulus. It says in one of the myths in which Janus played a important role, Romulus, one of the founders of Rome, kidnapped the Sabine woman. Helped by his men, Janus saved the woman by creating a volcanic hot spring which erupted and buried the kidnappers. And in the mixture of boiling water and volcanic ash, sounds like the thing that happened in Pompeii with the volcanic eruptions, right? But and they trying to say this is Janus that does it, but that's literally the Most High. As we just read, the Most High is the one who does all of these things, right? Also, when you go to 1 Samuel 2 and 6, it also says the same thing, right? Let's go there real fast. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. Not Janus, Yahweh. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up, right? So it's the Most High. Ultimately, it's Yahweh doing it, not this Roman god Janus. It says Janus was the god of beginnings and transitions in mythology. I just read that. Salakia. So yeah, man, Janus basically, man, it's just some false god, man, that these people just made up, right? You can read more about it on GreekMythology.com, right? And now, so Janus begins, basically, it's the god of the new year, basically. The god of the New Year's is what they do Janus as. Now, it goes all the way back to 46 BCE with Julius Caesar, who introduced more changes through the Julian calendar, right, as it became known, retained January 1st as the year's opening date. So also now you got to understand this, in 1582, the Gregorian calendar reform restored January 1st as New Year's Day, because we all know that New Year's Day, it couldn't be in the dead of winter, because in the winter, nothing is grown. When you look at the word spring, right, spring means new beginning. So New Year had to happen around springtime, because when you also see that when Yahweh Shai is born, when you read Luke 2, tells you that it was tax season, and tax season is during the springtime, right? So it happened, it had to be during March, right? So let's go right over here real quick, see this real fast. So look at this. So now the question is, so how did January 1st become New Year's Day, right? So it says, we can partly thank the Roman king Numa Pompilius. According to tradition, during his reign in 715 to 673 BCE, Numa revised the Roman Republic calendar so that January replaced March as the first month, right? So when was basically March? When you go to in 1752, right? March, right? So you have after the 1500s, you have they put March 25th as being the New Year's Day, right? And around that time, so March and April would be the month of Abib, right? According to the Bible, right? That around that time, that's where you see Abib when according to Exodus. I think it's Exodus 13. Exodus 13 and verse 4. It says, "This day came ye out of the month of Abib." Okay, hold on. Let's go to chapter 12. It says, "And Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron and in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you in the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you." Right? So yeah. So verse 12, and then you go to chapter 13, and it's in verse 4. It says, "This day this day came ye out in the month of Abib." So Passover was the month of Bib, which basically it was in what we would know today would be March. So around March and April. So 1752 is when they actually changed it back again to it being in January 1st, right? And this is where you get that god Janus, right? So why did they do it? Because they wanted to worship and honor their god Janus, right? Basically looking forward and back, right? That's their New Year's, right? Because these Edomites, they like to do winter solstices, and they like to do like things in darkness. And you know, winter is basically a time of darkness because it's lesser daylight and more dark and more moonlight, right? And you know, these people, they like to highlight the moon, man. These people are vampires. These people are witches and warlocks. You know what I mean? These people are evil, man. Right from the womb, they're just the evil people. So understand that, right? These people, they tried to change everything. Now let's go to this real quick, right? Let's go to Daniel. Let's go to Daniel real fast. Let's get Daniel 7 and verse 25, and it says, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High," talking about the Israelites, "and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until the time and times and the dividing of times." Right? So what these devils did was they try to change the times. They try to basically make up their own timeline. They try to make up their own, their own calendar, right? But you have to understand this is that not everywhere you go, the calendar is the same, right? So it goes from 45 BCE all the way to 715, 673 BCE to 1582, 1752, all these calendar changes, right? And this is all just the Roman Empire doing all of these things. Right, so this is and now we're in the Reformed Roman Empire, right? Because that's just people who are still ruling are our enemies, right? The Edomites, right? So let's go to see this real quick. Okay, so it says, "For the Romans, the month of January carried a special significance. Its name was derived from a two-faced deity, Janus, the god of change and beginnings. Janus was seen as symbolically looking back at the old and ahead of the new, Salakia, and this idea became tied to the concept of transition from one year to the next." So this is what they look at as their New Year's, right? But the Bible tells us when New Year's comes in. It's the time of spring when things are new, things are growing, new beginnings, right? New beginning. That's literally what it is, man. So why do they do this, man? This is ridiculous, right? So let's see. So look at this. To celebrate the New Year, the Romans made promises to Janus. This is where the tradition of making New Year's Day resolutions came from. So if you make a New Year's Day resolution, you're basically following after the traditions of the Romans to make promises to Janus. So when you say this year I'm gonna be on my grind, this year I'm gonna do this. This gonna be my year. This is my year. This is what you're doing. That's why it never is your year, because you make a promise to a false god, right? That's why your plans always get fucked up. This year I'm gonna lose 20 pounds, and then you gain 20 pounds instead of losing it, right? So it says on that day it was customary to exchange cheerful words of good wishes. That's what they do. What'd you wish for? What'd you wish for? Now they have this thing called 1111, make a wish, right? It's all bullshit. It's all numerology and all this other nonsense that these Edomites love, right? Shortly afterwards, on January 9th, the Rex Sacrorum offered the sacrifice of a ram to Janus, and then this is ridiculous. Really, and then you got that ram's head, goat-headed thing, what's that called? Let me see something real fast. Hold on, let's see something real quick. Let's see something. Let's see something. I just want to see something real fast. Yeah, it's like basically what they would basically put out as like Baphomet, right? So that's that ram's head, you know what I mean? This is what these people do, man. We all know that Baphomet was basically a deity that's allegedly worshipped by just worshipped by these damn Edomites, man. A sabbatic goat, right? Basically, right? It's a goat head or a ram head, basically, right? That's what they like to do, man. They like to follow after these really ridiculous things. Let's see something real. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, man. So this is ridiculous, man. So if you guys are following after these traditions, you got to get out of those traditions, man. Right? The Bible tells you when New Year's is, right? It's not during the time of winter, right? The dead of winter. Everything is so cold in winter. Nothing is new, right? So this is just an unusual thing. And, you have to stop following after these things. Seek the Most High and get away from this stuff, man, right? So let's see. Let me give you this verse real quick because we need to be well instructed when it comes to these things. Proverbs 23 verse 12, applying thine heart unto instruction. So we got to put our minds unto the laws of the Most High and thine ears to the words of knowledge. So we got to get this knowledge before we, This is ridiculous stuff that you guys are following after these things. So if you're going to do it goes from Christmas to this bullshit New Year's thing. So you got one Roman tradition to another Roman tradition, right? We are not of this world. You guys shouldn't be followers of this world, right? We are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native and Seminole Indians are in fact the Israelites, right? And if you think that this is too much for you, hey, look, Proverbs 24:7, wisdom is too high for a fool. You a fool for this. If you don't understand this is plain English. This is plain understanding, right? It says he openeth not his mouth in the gate, right? So you need to understand something, that you need to get rid of the foolishness of this world and get in tune with the saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Come back to the Heavenly Father, man. This is what you need to be doing, right? You need to be you need to give all the power and glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, not this Roman two-faced God, man. This is ridiculous, right? And it's even two-faced. Two-faced meaning what? A hypocrite. You can't be a hypocrite, right? You have to follow the Most High. Keep the faith in who the world calls Christ Yahushai, right? So stop joining hand in hand with these things, man. But that's really all there is to that, man. This fake God Janus, right? So, yeah, man, this is a lot. This is just a dark time that we're going into, and we've grown up like this. A lot of us were taught through youth, when we were youth, that this was a normal thing. When you actually look these things up, you go, damn, this is what we really be celebrating. This is what we really be doing. You know what I'm saying? These are traditions of men. So get out of that, resist the devil, he will flee from you, right? So resist it, keep the law. With that, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. I say shalom. Kwam Yasharallah.